Hi, nice to see you again. Graham Martin, the Recruitment Guy from orchardjobs.com. Nice to see you. Today, video number 4, we're going to be talking about terms and conditions of employment. I'm not going to talk about the actual contract, that's a subject for another video blog, but I would certainly suggest that you get one and get a good one and pay an employment lawyer to actually create an up-to-date one for you, because some of the stuff that's on the website is way out of date and you need to protect yourself as an employer with a bang up-to-date set of terms and conditions of employment and a contract. But today I want to talk about the actual terms in a broader sense. So you're going to need a pen and a pad to get this. I do not have enough time to give you absolute definitive lists, but if you go to the website recruitmentguy.com, you'll find it all on there. But the number one reason that most employers delay sending out a letter of employment is because they haven't got the terms and conditions written down. Now, of course, there's the obvious stuff, such as salary. But when you think about the salary, are you also going to be talking about when or if that salary is reviewed? Of course, a review doesn't necessarily mean increase, but are you going to sit down with this person at the end of a period of time, let's say it be at the end of the probation, or maybe at the end of the first year or the first 12 months, or whatever it happens to be, and actually review the salary? Are you providing an incremental increase which relates to, let's say, the cost of living, the percentage of inflation? You need to get this down. Employers today are much more savvy. They want to know. And don't be offended if your future employee wants to know the detail. If they're that focused on it for themselves, they'll be focused on detail for you as an employer, as an owner or a manager of a business. So let's think about getting down the details of what the salary is, where it starts, how it can move on. What about the hours? Are there core hours or are there kind of flexible hours? Are you offering flexi time? In my company, they need to be at 8:30 and we finish at 5:30. But actually, we say you need to be actually at your desk, cup of tea, had your piece of toast, everything done and dusted by 8:30. So there's no point people just turning up at 8:30. It's not what we're looking for. So you need to explain that actually in black and white. What about locations? Where will this person be expected to go? How will they get there? Will they be expected to use their own vehicle or public transport? How will they be recompensed? Oh, and going back to the salary, are you paying on the last day of the month, on the last Friday? Is it weekly? Is it monthly? Get it down. What about things like, let's think about a difficult one, the use of the internet. A number of companies I know say no use of internet whatsoever. Well, if that's the case, you've got to have a written policy. Likewise, what about use of email? Are you happy for these people to be accessing, let's say, MSN account or Facebook accounts so they can interact with people? Now, in certain companies, they're happy to do that. In fact, in my own company, we encourage people to use Facebook. But a lot of firms I know, they don't use it at all. They actually say to people, you cannot access Facebook. Or maybe you need to be saying to people, you've got to ask permission to access the internet for anything other than your actual business usage. What about a pension? Are you providing it? Is it contributory? Is it non-contributory? Does it go up in time? What about holidays? Now, of course, there's the minimum acceptable, which is 20 working days for a year. But what about an incremental opportunity to increase that? Are you offering that? Do you require people to hold back certain days, as in the construction sector, for use during that close down between Christmas and New Year? You have to have this down on paper. And in fact, many employment lawyers talk about an actual employee's handbook, and that's worthwhile considering because it talks about a lot more about how you behave and what is expected. What about unions? Is your company unionised? Is there a recognised union on site? And if so, does that person have the right to attend certain union meetings when they want to in office hours? There's so much we can talk about here. What's your policy with regards to smoking? Now, of course, we're not allowed to smoke in the offices these days, thankfully, in my opinion. But some companies say no smoking on site whatsoever. Some companies allow people to smoke outside the office. Some companies have even got a smoking room, would you believe? So there's so many things to talk about. The most important thing, though, is you consider it and think about it and get it down on paper. What about confidentiality? Is there a policy that you must ask people to follow when it comes to client confidentiality, sharing information? You don't want to be hiring somebody that's, let's say, a commercial spy and they're passing on details about your database to their friends in a similar kind of business. What about the probationary period? As I alluded to earlier, some people review salaries at probation, but are you offering a month, 3 months, or maybe even 9 months? I think it's worth considering how different roles might require a different probationary period. And also the notice period. What is required of your company? In some firms, I know that after a certain period of time, at a certain level, they ask for 3 or maybe even 6 months notice period. So I hope that's given you some food for thought. There's a lot more on the recruitmentguy.com website. Please go there, please download the resource. There's a lot more information, but my desire for you is to get this down so that when you start to present your opportunity to somebody, they believe that you are a professional organisation, you've thought this through, and really from your own point of view, you're covering your back, you're getting everything down. So good luck with that. We'll see you next time round. Graham Martin, the Recruitment Guy from orchardjobs.com, saying goodbye.